Hello.
Hi, Judith. It's nice
Hi,
to meet
everyone.
you. I think it's been like,
Like a decade,
yeah, it has to be.
if not more.
I've
Yeah,
not
I know we
been,
spoke sometime over a decade ago, but it's been like a
yeah,
decade.
but it's been a long time. So, I'm just going to straight up start with introducing you. I can't introduce you better than you can introduce yourself. So let's just.
No, 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 no. Sell my market, please. Sell my market. You already posted. I saw the introduction you posted earlier today. So,
Okay. Yeah, but I just want you to go over it again so that you know that they are in the right hands right now, and you have the juice.
okay. Hi, everyone. I'm super, super, super excited that everyone is here. I'm always super excited to share everything that I know. I'm super excited to learn and to share. My name is Judith. Friends, people call me Drew. So I'm a certified TEFL instructor. What TEFL means is that I could teach English as a second language or as a foreign language to non-native speakers, and non-native speakers are those who English was not their first language. I can do so to over 50, in over 50 countries. So I've also taken the IELTS because I just wanted to have a feel of it, so I could understand what people are genuinely going through. So I've taken the IELTS. I've been teaching IELTS for like 2+ years now. And I'm just super excited to be here. I'm super excited to meet new people. Please, people should tell us where they're watching us from, you know, and if they'll
Everyone,
like take, yeah,
everyone, please, would like to hear where you're joining us from. If you've taken the exams before, or if you are just
if
getting
it's
ready,
your first time.
just let us know in the comment section.
Yes,
Okay,
guys, please.
how
Oh, someone is watching from Ghana.
I'm telling you, Agba,
Somebody's writing in September. September, is this your first time? Lagos, Lagos. Ogba, Lagos.
okay, Calabar, don't be small.
Oh, first time, flawless. Don't worry, you're going to max it out. Calabar. Oh. So, guys, please do me a favor. I know we're just meeting for the first time, but please do me a favor. And, there's a forward button just by the comments section. Just forward to 3 people you know that are supposed to be here, or they're taking the IELTS pretty soon, or that this will be impactful for them. Just forward it to 3 people. Guys, just hi, Jill. Oh, hi, Malvin. It's my first time. Don't worry, you're going to max it out. Don't worry. Don't worry. Ilorin, guys, I'm right now in Ibadan, but I live in Lagos, but I'm in Ibadan at the moment.
Okay.
Right till next Saturday, first time, and you're going to max it out. Don't worry.
Um,
You're at the right place. You guys are going to max it out. Don't worry, okay?
you are. Hi, Tom. Okay, so
So,
Judy,
guys, please let's make this class interactive by making comments. Say yes, you can't hear me. Absolutely. Slow down. Let's make it interactive. I like a very fun class. You can see I'm always smiling. I like fun while I'm learning. Yes, yes, yes. Over to you, Essay.
okay, so Judy, I wanted us to get right into it. I want,
Right.
like, for some people who don't know what IELTS is, they don't know
Mhm.
what they're being tested for. I've had someone
Mhm.
ask me maths on it, and I mean, these are real questions that people,
Yeah.
when they're trying for it. So, can you give us a little information on what it's about?
Absolutely. So IELTS or IELTS, it's pronounced both ways. It's fine if you want to pronounce it as IELTS or IELTS. IELTS, as he said, is International English Language Testing System. That's the acronym. International
Okay.
English Language Testing System. It's a test to assess the language ability of an individual. So,
Mhm.
some of these countries believe that English is not, for example, Nigeria's first language. I mean, they believe that some of us speak other native tongues and languages and stuff. So they think that it's important for everyone who is not from America, because there are like 7 native English speaking countries: the US, Australia, the UK. I don't want to go into all that now. However, so they believe that, if you're coming into their country, they want to assess your language ability. How well can you speak, write, read, listen? How well can you pay attention? And I feel like, the reason why they want to do this is they're moving into another country. They want to know if you're going to have issues with, communicating. How best can you communicate with them, and how best can they communicate with you? So that's what they're just testing, your language ability in writing, reading, speaking, listening. Can you speak? Can you write? How well can you do this? Because to be honest, guys, I used to think, oh, all these countries are just being very, Nigerians, we speak good English. What do they mean? Blah, blah, blah. But apparently when I, because I love to travel, when I traveled, for some time, I realized that some people have problems reading the map. Some people have problems writing a letter. Some people have problems with emails, directions. And you know that these countries are developed countries, they don't expect you to be harassing people at the office or on the road. Just, use your Google Maps. Some people don't even know how to use Google Maps. I'm not exaggerating. Like when I travel, I see Nigerians or Africans who ask me, oh, how can I do this? And so that's what they want to test. Now, can the average Nigerian do this? Yes, we can. We can speak good English. However, there are a lot of people applying to come into this country. So these countries want to pick the best from the best, And so the test is just to assess, are you one of those best from the best? Are you those that will come and work in our country or school in our country, and you will have problems reading your school materials? Are you one of those people that at work, you will have problems, communicating with your bosses, your colleagues? They just want to know if you can communicate. You won't have issues. So they have seen people who have issues with, just emails, reading maps. And that's why in the exams or in the test, you read maps, you write a letter. They're just trying to assess. So that's basically what the IELTS is about.
That's interesting, And it's true, actually, I began to realize, even for me, I passed the test in one sitting, but
that's my girl.
That said, I have to be honest, there were bits of that test that were kind of shocking to me. I think one of the things I really struggled with was the listening, because for some reason, I find it very difficult to just concentrate without my thoughts drifting away. And I found that with listening, and you cannot afford to have your thoughts drift away.
Yeah.
So something that you don't miss.
Yeah. And it's really simple because, at some point, I also struggled with the reading at first. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I like competitions and stuff. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I get, and that was like my best result eventually. Because what I realized was that if you know what they are looking for, because really they're just trying to assess your language ability. These people have, some of these Australians, or of course it's British and Australians, have an accent that you need to pay attention for you to understand. Our language is different from them. Sometimes when Nigerians are speaking, they're like, sorry, I don't get you. Not necessarily because they're trying to be proud. However, they have a way that they communicate. And that's some of the things that we're going to talk about in this live session, because people need to understand how to understand what they're communicating. It's not like their language is totally different. It's just that they have, a strong accent, and that's how they grew up, and that's their language, So really.
So let's talk about, okay, you're taking a test now. What should you be targeting? What results should you be targeting? Is it like, you should just get 50% and I'm good?
Yeah.
Because pass mark. So is that what we're aiming at, or what are the required results?
Okay, so generally there are 4 courses in the test: the speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Of course, each one of them, I'm not going to go into details of each one of them. However, for all the tests, they always say, oh, it's good to have a band 7. So all the tests have a band 9 as the maximum, a band 0 to 1 as the minimum. So they want to assess your language ability based on that to 9, right? Now, for all the tests, they say, oh, okay, for all the courses, they say you're supposed to have a 7 in each and every one of them. However, in the listening is more important. They've come to realize that listening is now more important because people don't understand how to pay attention and get information, and which is really critical because that's a receptive skill. So this
that you need in every facet of your life when you're settling in. You need it with people on the road. You need it with being able to do your work properly. So I understand.
Yeah, and that's what I tell people. Like, it's not the country's fault. You actually need these skills. Like, even as a person, as a teacher, someone that teaches people and takes people in, English language and IELTS, I still have to learn every now and then. I'm still studying every week. You need these skills. You need to improve on it as a human being generally. You need to improve on your it's like communication skills. We all need to communicate to people effectively. People need to understand you, and you need to also understand them. So for all the courses, you need to have a 7 in all of them. For the listening, you need to have an 8, a band 8 at the very least. Now, of course, everyone says, oh, if you have a 7, you're fine. If you have an 8, you're fine. However, there's a possibility of having 9 in some of these reading tests or in some of these courses. And we'll talk about that, as the life goes on. But of course, you have to have a listening, a band 8 in your listening and band 7 in the rest of at the very least. That would give you the required points for any field that you're going into.
Mm-hmm. So we didn't really, when we asked the question, but we didn't really hear from a lot of you whether when you're taking it, or if you have already taken it, or if you've taken it before, your first time or your second time. But a couple of you have responded and you said it's your first time. I've not heard from anyone who said they're taking it again. And I remember someone said she's taking it next month, September. Eh?
Yeah, someone said September.
So for the sake of those people, how do you prepare for this test? Is it something you are going to just be cramming? Is it about cramming some words so that you can just with those words? What's the best way to prepare? I think not just prepare for the test, but prepare in a way that you are also improving your understanding and your speech in the language.
Oh, someone said they're planning to take it this month or next. Okay. So I'll just quickly talk about 3 ways that I, think is important to plan and prepare for the test. However, I need you guys to give yourself a round of applause for being here, because this is one of the first ways. I'm being honest. This is one of the first ways that you can appropriately prepare for a test. Just getting in as much information as you can get in. So this is the first way. The next way to prepare for any test, as well as the IELTS, is to know what the test is about. Because I realize that a lot of people do not know what the test is about. And now, thank God, you guys, if you came in like 5-10 minutes ago, you already know that the test is just to assess your language ability in your listening, your reading, your writing, and your speaking. That's what the test is about. So you need to know what this test is. Of course, individually, they all have, what they are looking out for and what, the examiners would, require for them to give you a band 9. Which we may not talk about in this live. However, you just need to know what the test is about, which you guys already know. Is assess your language ability in the 4 courses in the IELTS. Next, this is my favorite one. How to prepare really, really well is to stop listening to the bad news that you hear around. Guys, please. I hear people saying they're taking the test 9 times, 8 times. I don't know if people are saying it in such a way to scare other people. I don't know what the intention is, but please, guys, if you really want to, prepare to take this test, and having a positive mindset is everything. Stop listening to the bad news of, oh, people are taking it 3 times. Oh, this test is hard. And I always tell people, like, guys, this test is not hard. People are like, that's because it's you. I'm like, to be honest, you just need to stop listening to the bad news. There are 1,001 people who have maxed out their test in one sitting. Yeah, in one sitting. I took the test in like 1 month or 2, and I just sat down once and I took it and I maxed it out. There are millions and thousands of people who max out this test in one sitting. So please, the first or the second way to prepare for this test is to stop listening to all the bad news around. You can sit for this test in one sitting and max it out. Do not let anybody tell you otherwise. And I'm being serious. I'm being honest. You just need to know what all the test requires, which, probably will go into, probably will not. Then the last thing I'll say you should do to prepare for the test is to take the test. There are 1,001 websites. I'll try and, on the comment section, try and put out one of the links. But there are 1,001 websites right now that can, help you take a pre-test. Like, it's sort of like how the test is supposed. So have a feel of it. Have a, taste of what the test is. This will also help you know the areas of the test that you struggle with. So I think that for me, that's the third thing. Just go and try out the test. Try the listening out. Try the reading out. Then oh, okay. I think I need to see, guys, we all need to work on our communication skills. We all need to improve our language ability. So when you take all those pre-tests, it will let you know what areas you need to improve on. So those are the 3 ways I think. Go try it out, guys. Go try it out.
I actually agree with that, your first point, that you should stop listening to the negative. Because actually, I remember the day I was to take my speaking test. For some reason, when it comes to speaking, I'm always very nervous. Even before this, like, no, like, I know I'm talking to you, you're my very old friend and everything, but even coming to me, I'm nervous. Like, I don't know what to expect. So when I was going into the speaking test, it was the same thing. And then I sat down with the girl, hey Mary. So I sat down beside this girl, and she just started telling me, how many times have you taken it? This is my second.
And then your nervousness moved from here to like it shut off the roof.
Sometimes speaking, that it has been holding her back because she has been passing the people. I was like, hey, so it's true. You need to.
Yeah, stop it. Like, I don't know if people are trying to ruin other people's lives, but it's not that difficult. At least take my word for it. It's not that difficult. You just need to know. And there's a saying that goes that when you know a problem, you know how to, as in it's now less, you now know how to solve the problem. Once you know what the problem is, it's easier to solve. So once you know what the test is about, it's easier to, focus on what they require of you, okay? So please stop listening to all the bad news.
Yes, it's true. Okay, so I'm not sure what I've done, but I think I turned on something.
Yeah, you've gone back to being all right now.
Okay, so we've talked about all of this. Now I want to know, as an instructor yourself, what are the mistakes you feel a lot of people make when it comes to preparing for the test or taking the test itself? Because if you know those things, then it can help you be better prepared. So this is like more specific. What are the mistakes that people generally would make when preparing for the test, even when taking the test? I don't know. I think I've done something. Just continue.
I don't see.
Because
Okay, so I'll give you 3 common mistakes that people make. The first one is my personal favorite. My personal favorite. People consume, and I've come to find out because I've taught people over the years, and I've not only taught Nigerians, I've taught people in Israel, I've taught people in different parts of, the world. And I've come to realize that the first major issue that people have is that they do not consume the right information. So this is an example I'm going to. I don't know if any of you have seen the movie When They See Us, or maybe you saw Beyonce's. She's trying to get ready for Coachella. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, if you look at actors or musicians or artists, they kind of soak themselves into the role and the thing they're about to do. Beyonce would push her body to do exactly what she wants it to do. The main actor on When They See Us, the lead actor, I remember him saying that he had to go and live with the guy for a few months just to understand the guy's, body language and everything, just to, be able to bring out that character. And I think that for IELTS, it's the same thing. What I find is that people don't consume the right information. So you still find people speaking their African language. You still find people speaking Yoruba. There was one day I was teaching someone and she was just speaking Yoruba, speaking Yoruba. I feel like, when you're about to take the test, just zone out your mind in the next 2 months, in the next 3 months. I want to consume the right information. I want to prepare for this role that I'm about to go into. We grew up in Nigeria, and generally our language is at a beginner. So we have different levels of proficiency. We have the beginner, we have the intermediate, and we have the advanced. Generally, Nigerians are at the beginner level, which is fine. But now you're an adult or you want to take the test, you have to move yourself to another level of proficiency. And I feel like the best way to do it is to consume the right information. Listen to BBC. I always tell people, listen to BBC, watch Australian and British movies. For the period of time, just stop speaking Yoruba or Hausa or, Ghanaian. I'm not saying that, okay, stop it 100%. I'm saying prepare for this role that you're about to take on. content, the content that you take into you is more important than anything else. You know, and even for me, you know, in the times where I wanted to, you know, go for the test, I would put on only BBC. I would, you know, try to get how they communicate. You know, I even wrote out words. I'm like, this guy is in for it. By the time I speak to him, you know that me, I'm not the average. Because to be honest, I was going to be an examiner. And if I'm an examiner, I would sit down and think of, I'm going to see 30 people today. What makes this person different from the 30 people that have walked into this room today? You have to be different. Your language ability has to be above everybody else that walked in. So me, I was like, this guy is going to know that I'm not like everybody else that has walked into this room. And that was because I prepared myself. So I feel like the first main reason why you need that, first main thing you need to do is to wrap yourself around the content, you know, be ready for this thing that you're about to embark on. It will help you, it will help your understanding, it will help how you communicate as well. It will help you be different from the 30 people that have walked into the room. The second thing is, which I really find amusing, is when you hear a word, Nigerians, and this is for Nigerians in particular, Africans really, because I know that one of my mentors has said it and is South African. You know, they don't learn new words, they don't learn synonyms, they don't learn pronunciations. So when people hear words like ethos or exuberance, they're like, English, grammar, madam. They don't go to Google and Google out these words. And for me, I'm just like, why do you guys do that? You guys, let me tell you a story, right? When I was watching, I don't know if anybody watched Acrimony. I'm a movie person, so I don't know if anybody watched Acrimony. I know it was all over Tyler Perry's, you know, movie. Yeah. And I think what blew my mind was that I watched the making of Acrimony and how it was talking about, you know, the inspiration from the movie. And to be honest, we all know Tyler Perry is an American. We all know that Tyler Perry is not going to take this test, right? He's not going to be asked to take this test. But Tyler Perry, there was one significant thing Tyler Perry said. He said that how he came up with the name of the movie was that one day he was sitting there watching CNN. And if you know CNN doesn't really like their present presidents. I don't want to call names. You know, they don't really like them. So he said one day he sat down and he was listening to the news. And then one day he just saw someone with so much, they were interviewing someone and the person was super angry and was like, the president is very acrimonious to the something. And the person was really... And Tyler Perry, who is an American, picked up his phone. He told us this. You can go check it out. He picked up his phone and Googled the word acrimonious. And he said that was how he came up with the name of the movie, Acrimony. So guys, I always tell people, if Tyler Perry, who is an American, who doesn't need this test, can go to Google, how much more you an African, where they already know that Africans, you guys, your language is already bad. You need to prove them wrong. So I think that's the second thing. Stop being among people that say, English. Go and Google the word. Invite the word to your vocab. Okay, guys. So I think that the third and the final thing is that people rush to take the test. Essay, I've seen a lot of people. You know, there was one day I was going to teach someone and she expected me to teach her the test in 2 weeks. That she was going to write it and it was her second time. I was like, Madam, why are you rushing to take the test? She's like, she has to take it. She needs to travel. I'm like, but it's not about rushing to take the test. It's about how prepared you are. If I'm not prepared to act a movie, I'm going to go and act that movie and it will be rubbish. That's why the actors, they give them time to, you know, take on the role. So I think the number 3 problem that, you know, people just try to rush and take it like, oh, at the end of the day, they will now tell you that they've taken it 3 times, but they were never prepared in the first place. Mm-hmm. So that's the third thing that I think that, you know, those are the common mistakes I've seen that people make.
That's really deep.
So let me just give you guys a few tips. I'll give you 3 quick tips. The first tip is to aim higher. Aim higher. So, of course, we already said in the beginning of the test that, you know, for the listening test, you need an 8, and for the rest of the test, you need a 7. But I dare say that you can get, and you can quote me anywhere, you can get a band 9 in your reading and your listening. And why I say this is because it's right there in front of you. The answers are right there. For the speaking, is based on the examiner, what the examiner thinks. For the writing, is based on what the examiner thinks. But for the reading and the listening, the answers are right in front of you. You just need to get them out. For the reading, you can get a band 9 very easily. For the listening, you can get a band 9 very easily, just if you can pay attention. It's not based on a human being anymore. It's based on you. How much can you pay attention? How much can you get details? You know. So, guys, I dare say you can get a band 9 in your reading and your listening. All you need to do is to practice, of course. But the first tip I'm going to say is to aim higher. You need to aim higher because there's a saying that goes that it's better to aim higher and miss than aim lower and hit. And why I say this is better to, I'll say that again, it's better to aim higher and miss or than to aim lower and hit. And this is why. If you aim for, let's say, a 7 or an 8, if something happens and you fall, we all know that that's not so good. Maybe you probably will fall to a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? But if you aim for a 9, if you fall, you can fall to an 8 or a 7. So that's the first tip, guys. Aim higher. It's possible. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, this test is difficult. It is possible to get a 9. It is possible to get a 9 in your reading and your listening. So all you need to do now is work on your writing and your speaking, because those ones are based on what the examiner thinks about you. I remember I already said that, there's a way to blow the examiner's mind, especially in your speaking, So that's the first tip. The second tip is to practice. And I'll probably stay on this. There are 3 reasons why I think everyone should practice. First reason is that when you practice, it will help you. Like if you go and take the test right now on any of the pre-test websites, it will help you know what areas you struggle with. And it differs from person to person, like I said. My friend was very good in reading. My friend went to the bathroom. He told me, man, I went to the bathroom when it was a reading test. Can you imagine, like someone doing the test, that is a timed test, went to the bathroom. He was like, oh, he was reading now. I read things in like 20 minutes. I don't need 1 hour to read. So it differs from person to person. It will help you know the areas that you need to work on personally, not the areas that everybody else needs to work on, the areas that you need to work on. And it differs from person to person. I wasn't so good of a reading person. So I knew when I first took the test, I knew that this was what I was going to focus on, and I focused on it and I knocked it out of the park. So this is why you need to practice. You need to practice. Practice will help you, what you as a person struggle with and what you should focus on. The second thing that practice will help you do is speed. Recently, I don't know if I was the one that came up with the saying, or I don't know if I've heard it somewhere. It was just in my spirit, and it says that if you do something long enough, you will know or you will find a better and faster way to do it. Now, if you practice often and more regularly, you will know you will know how to time yourself to, take the test in lesser, because that's the major problem that people have, timing. But if you practice, you will know, because all my students, I'm like, take your timer, practice, put a timer on and say, okay, can I write in 20 minutes? Can I write in 30 minutes? Those are the things that practice will do for you. So it will help you with speed and technique. Speed and technique. So you become very fast. You find better ways. I'll give you guys a simple example. I have a lot of children, my friends' children, my nieces. I remember that my niece, if you don't put your hand on top of her to sleep, she won't sleep. So you have to put your hand on top of her. But the thing is that when she sleeps and she realizes that the hand is no longer there, she'll wake up. So I found a better way. After a lot of time and knowing that this is not going to work for me, I kind of found a better way to leave something that feels like a hand on her body. And she would not know she would sleep. And how did I do this? It was because I constantly realized that, okay, I need a faster way to do this. I need a better way to do this. Even for my friend's child, I remember that she as well, sometimes to put her to bed, once the room is cool, and she can close her eyes and nothing is distracting her, because she's a 5-year-old and 5-year-olds get distracted. Once nothing is distracting her and she closes her eyes, she's going to sleep. So I always make sure that the room is cool when I want to go take her to bed. And in like 10 minutes, I'm done. And one day her dad was like, how come you are quick to put her to bed and come back right out? I'm like, I've done this long enough. I now know ways to do it. So that's what it will help you with speed, and it will help you with technique. You'll know better ways to do it, and you'll be faster in doing it. The last reason why you should practice is that nobody is an expert. I did not become an expert teacher. Tyler Perry did not become an expert producer. An actor did not become an expert actor. Everybody worked to become what they are now. And how do you do this? You do this by doing it. So I become a better speaker by speaking. I become a better teacher by teaching. I become a better musician by singing. In doing all those, I know, the areas that I need to work on. So I become better. So nobody's an expert. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, I maxed out the scores, blah, 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 blah. I'm not trying to say, oh, it's maxable, like you can max it out in one sitting. However, nobody became an expert. Everybody had to go through a process of practicing. You need to know, because for each test, we're probably not going to go into it, but for each test, there is something that they look out for in each test. And when you know that, and you continue to practice it, you become an expert in it. Like, for example, if you know how the Australian people and the British people talk, you are going to be very good in the listening test. One of my friends is really good in listening tests because he has been around a lot of people with a lot of Australian and British accents. So that's why you need to practice. You need to practice more often and over because it will help you generally to improve. Nobody is an expert. We all struggle with something. You continue to do it so that you can improve. I hope that, everything that we've talked about is helpful. So I'm ready for your questions.
Yeah, I was asking if you have any packages where you coach people for these tests, because I remember at some point you mentioned that you had the student who came to meet you and asked you to train her to write the test in 2 weeks and rushing to travel. Do you have any,
of course. Right now, what I do is, because I have taken the test and I kind of understand what people go through. So the first problem that people go through is that there's a vast amount of resources online. It's ridiculous. Like if you just type IELTS, you're probably overwhelmed with the amount of resources that you would see. One person can be saying, one tutor can be saying, use this technique. Another tutor can say the exact opposite. Another tutor can say something similar. So it's crazy. There's a vast amount of resources online. So the first thing that I do is that I put together, an email of resources that I think are relevant, because I'm a very direct person. I want to learn how to speak Spanish realistically in like maybe 1 year. And I want the exact resources I need. I'm that kind of person. So I felt like, okay, it would be important to, give people the exact resources that they need, the relevant resources that they need. So I put together something in an email. It has links, it has a PDF, it has different things, just for, those who, they'll be like, okay, you know what, there's too much resources online. Can you kind of direct me on what path to take? So that's one thing that I offer. The other thing that I offer is group classes. The third thing that I offer is private classes. For now, those are the things that I'm offering. The relevant resource material, which comes as an email, group classes, or physical classes, and they are only valid for this year. So guys, I'm going to type in a code that you can use and get 20% off just because you came for this live today, okay? So just type in the code, SA. I don't want to say the code because I'm going to post this on my social media, so I don't want to say it out, so I'm just going to type it. So whenever you're ready, you use this to get 20% off any of the things that I have. Okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. On behalf of everyone that's here.
So that's the code. I just posted the code. You can pin it, Effie,
okay,
so people can see the code. Let me type it out again. Yes. So is there any questions? People don't have questions. Are you for real?
Yeah, I don't know why. So some people,
guys,
someone sent a reminder for the practice link. They asked for it.
I don't want to be wrong in that. So, guys, before the end of the live, I'll post the preferred website that you go practice the test. There's one that I really like, because you can also review your results after taking the test, so you can know the areas that you struggle with.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. So what was the question?
The first question is, if you are planning to prepare for the IELTS by yourself, how can you get productive feedback?
How can you get productive what?
Feedback.
Record. So if for the speaking, I think the best way is to record yourself. For the listening and the reading, the best way is to use one of these websites to practice. The website I'm going to give to you, I'm just going to open my email just to be sure. I don't want to type the wrong thing. But the website I'm going to give to you, you can actually do a practice test, mark it on the website, and then they will show you why the answer is what it is. So you can do a review afterwards. So that's why I like the one I'm going to give to you. So those are the ways. record yourself for the speaking. The writing, you have to give it to someone to read it, to be honest. You have to give it to someone to read it. And the writing for me, the writing is my best course to teach, the writing and the speaking and the listening. Those are my best courses to teach. All of them as well. So you definitely have to give the writing to somebody that understands IELTS and knows what they are looking for. Because guys, every of the courses, they are looking for something in specific. We didn't go into that today, but every one of them, there's an exact thing that they're looking for. So you need someone that knows about the IELTS to be able to mark your writing, letters, and and essay. So for the writing, you need to get somebody that is an IELTS teacher or someone that understands English or knows what they are looking for. For the speaking, you need to record yourself. For the listening and reading, I'll give you a website to go try.
Even if you record yourself for the speaking, you also need someone to be able to tell you that you're...
Exactly. You just you need someone to hold your hand, literally.
So there's another question. How can one get feedback on writing? I guess it's the same question. That's the only aspect you cannot get.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
I guess that's what you've been saying.
So some of my friends come to me and say, I want to practice on my own. Give me the materials. I'll get the materials by myself. Practice on my own and come for one day just to validate what I've been studying for the last few weeks and know, okay, am I in the right path? And so we'll do it one day, 3 hours straight on to know, okay, these are the things that you did wrongly. These are the things that you need to go back on. So really, I feel like all the sites, nobody's going to genuinely, try and help you out to see you're on the right path without you paying. All the sites I've seen, they'll say, okay, send your writing. And, people send me writing as well. I'm not just going to sit down and read a bunch of writing. Is their time you're paying for? How long do you have to practice before taking the test? Okay, I usually recommend that you take 3 months. To be honest, I recommend that you don't rush. You take 3 months out. 1 month exclusive, like you're sinking yourself into the books. 3 months of preparation, but 1 exclusive month of sitting down every day to practice what you're learning. But I usually recommend 3 months.
Another person asked, which test do you recommend, computer-based or paper-based?
So if you're in Nigeria, I would say you should go for paper-based, and this is why. It's a personal decision. Please don't say, oh, Drew said the paper-based is best than the computer-based. This is my personal opinion. I think the paper-based is still very new in Nigeria. I would want to take the risk. I don't think you should take that risk of using the paper-based test. The computer-based, the computer-based, simply because it's still new. You can see the internet problems I just had right now. I have 3 internets in the house. I just don't trust it enough to take the risk. So, I personally went for the paper-based when I was trying it out. I personally encourage some of my friends to go for the paper-based. But if you are in a country where everything works and you're definitely sure that nothing is going to interrupt your computer-based test, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I got IELTS. So.
I want to thank you so much for taking out your time to spend
such a
with
pleasure.
us. I'm sure we all.
So I just posted the test.
Okay. Let me pin it. I probably also need it.
Yeah, so just go try out the test. Yeah. Guys, do we have any other questions?